Now, if you fast forward to today and you think about idealists and the work that you do, what are the values that you feel most responsible for carrying with, whether it's with our team, with our clients, or with the cultures that you're shaping both internally, but also with those that we work with? Like, how do you try to live those values out loud across those spaces today?
When we started Idealis, there were a set of values that I wrote down on a piece of paper and I said, this is what I will be, and this is what I want our team to be. And then I hired to that, we coach to that, we give feedback to that. And those values were actually three. And then we added a fourth because someone joined our team and said, I think this is a fourth value. So we added it. And that's smart, kind, driven. And then the added one was helpful.
Mhm.
And smart is smart enough to know what we know and smart enough to know what we don't know.
Yep.
And kind is not the equivalent of being pushovers, but it's approaching things with kindness so that we sort of collectively nurture and nourish one another's spirits and personalities and morality and dignity so that we can treat one another with kindness while we're doing hard things. Driven, I mean, that one's pretty easy, but it's not driven to compete and put your, kick people down while you're rising up. I've been in cultures like that are eat what you kill. And no, this is about being driven for impact and being driven to work together to do something special and important in the world. And then helpful was added by Julia Wyckoff, who happens to be my best friend and
Shout out.
joined. Shout out to Julia. And when she joined to help us out on a couple of things, she was like, "You guys are really helpful. Like everybody on your team is like, how can I
That
be
is
helpful?
very
How can
true.
I be helpful?" And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? We are helpful. And our clients say we're helpful. Like we show up when they're struggling and say, how can we be helpful?
Yeah.
And so that's a value. So I think those four, if I think about my childhood, those are probably core values of my childhood. And then I've lifted those into the company. And then we've luckily been able to find people who embody them. I think as a firm, we have two values when we're out in the world, which is having a level of authority, like knowing what we're talking about and having data and research and backing and expertise, but also being authentic.
Yeah.
And I think authority and authenticity sometimes feel like they should clash, and they do clash. Like you can't possibly know what you're talking about and just be that real.
Yeah.
And I think we're saying, no, no, actually, both of those things not only can be true, but need to be true. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big part of my own personal value set.
What I heard, just as you even reflected that back, so that kind of demonstrates this whole leadership identity thing, I think, in practice, is that I heard your dad in that. I heard your sister in that, right? This kind but driven, like, I'm going to help you and we're going to get through this, but then you're going to wash your face off and keep going, right? That clear is kind, even in that example you just shared about where your expertise comes from. Uh, your desire for data as you go forward to provide advice so that it's not one without the other gives you authority and empowers people to act on. That to me is what leadership identity is. It's taking the
Mm.
time. And the fun fact is you don't have to wait till you're a CEO to do that. That is how identity is built. It's you continuing to go back and think it through, pull the threads to get really clear about what matters because then you are able to share it off the cuff like you just did.